Welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Mickey here. So yesterday I put up a quick video which was basically talking about Herblore, and a lot of you guys got back to me and said, show us how to prepare it, show us how to collect it. So what I'm going to do two simple ones today. I'm going to do a nettle tea and I'm going to do something with dandelions. Yeah, it's supposed to rain today. I'm outside, I'm in the back garden, hence I've put a little backdrop up before you instead of seeing a brick wall. I'm going to use the wood stove, therefore if it rains it's not going to cause too much problems other than I'm going to get soggy. Anyhow, please join me, please enjoy. Okay, dandelions. So you found your dandelion, you recognise it by the flower and the leaf. So what next thing you want is your good old-fashioned British Army survival knife. You want to come out a few inches from the plant, you want to go down as hard as you can and start working around the root. Okay, you want as much of the root out as possible with the soil, and as you can see here we haven't damaged the root. Break this all up, put it back in the hole as you do. And there we go. Harvest dandelions. We put the dandelions into a container. We'll take one more because this is only going to be a demonstrator. I think we've got good root on that one. And again, got another root here. And because that's not a big root, let's go for one more. Again, the bonus of the British Army survival knife, nice thick wide blade, it's very strong, you're not going to bend it, not going to break it. That's a bit of a small one, but never mind, I'll do for what we need. Okie doke, so next we're going to move on to harvesting nettles. So here we have our nettles, Urtica dioica. And so my top tip to you with the nettles is good to get your cup, whatever you want to contain them in. Take that like that, being careful not to kneel on any of the nettles. And what you ideally want to do is find the nettle, find the top 2 inches, pull it up, okay? And you want a good cupful. And as you see, the insects have actually got to the lower parts. But by nipping out the top buds, the fresh growth, okay, you're getting the best of the nutrients. Not only that, you're going to allow the plant to grow continually. So you're not damaging the plant, you can come back and reharvest. And as I said on yesterday's video, right next door we have our little friend the dead nettle. So we'll have a couple of those pinched off the top, and again that will go into our drink. So we have nettles, dead nettles, and over in this corner here, just as an added extra, we have bramble. Now, nice thing with bramble this time of year, He's got his lovely buds on it. So we'll have a couple of those off. And that will go in our salad. So what we're going to do, we're obviously going to light our fire in here. I've already pared down some bits of wood on the top, got some nice thin stuff. I've got some silver birch there, I've got some silver birch bark. And the reason I've gone for silver birch is I have some that's nice and dry and ready to go. So what we'll do, we'll cheat a little bit today. And you are allowed to cheat occasionally. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to lay some birch bark in there. As a base. That's going to allow a bit of heat to build under the other materials. So I'm basically using the birch bark like a tinder because it is going to rain. And so ideally I want to get this up and running as quick as possible. So what I do, we'll go to a cigarette lighter, take a piece of birch bark, take a fairly thin piece of birch bark, get a good flame going on that, as you can see there. Feed that under the remainder of our birch bark. And place some twigs and timbers over that, starting with the finer stuff. There's one pre-split there. Open that up because I don't want to smother our fire, obviously. There's some nice dry bits of birch, thicker pieces of bark. Which will help our fire build. You can always prep some more kindling and place it on if you need to. But that appears to be doing exactly what I want it to do. So I now place some larger timbers up the sides. Without smothering it. We'll allow that to get underway. That's a time and patience thing, so give your fire time to build, give it a chance to get going. Don't try and rush it. If it goes out, breathe deep, start again. Okay, it's not a panic, never in a rush. If your timber's slightly damp, place it on top of your firebox, and again the heat from that rising through the metal will help to dry it out. And that's our fire. So we'll let that get underway, and then we'll prep some veggies. It's much to your relief, you're not going to see much of my ugly mug because I want you to be able to watch this. So the first thing we're going to do, our dandelions. So we've harvested our dandelions, dug them up. What we've done is cut the root off, washed all the soil off of it. Okay, it's quite an easy process. I haven't got very many here because at the end of the day I'm only making a video, and therefore I don't want to damage or harvest more than I really need. So what you're going to do is you're going to take all the greenery off. You just want the root, and you, like I say, you've already washed it. The thin stuff is no real use to you, it will burn and char. Right, so it's as simple as that. And like I say, again, it's only a small amount I'm doing here because I'm literally going to make 1 cup's worth. Okay, so if you harvested this in the morning, put it into a canvas or a cloth bag, allow it to dry. The drier you make this, the better. But as you see, I'm up against the rain today, and so I am rushing the process a little bit, but I'm just trying to give you a heads up. Bit that off over there. Next thing you want is a small pan, frying pan. Ideally, if you've got something with a heavy base, it's going to hold heat, be a lot more gentle on what you're doing, because you don't want to rush this process. You actually want to dry this out and roast it or toast it as you would with normal coffee. So let's cut this in small parts, and again, these roots are quite small roots. What we do, and try and get them even. You want them to roast at about the same speed. You don't want some of it black and turn to charcoal, and it will do that quite quickly if you're not careful. And then it becomes a very, very bitter, very bitty, not a pleasurable drink at all. Okay, done. It's enough there for a cuppa. So what we're going to do with that, take that, put it into our pan. No oil in the pan, dry pan. You want to toast and roast these. Now you could do it in that and put the lid on, turn it into an oven. Okay, that will work just as well. However, what we're going to do is literally in like that, because this is what you would do in a genuine bushcraft situation, and apply that to heat. So what we'll do, we'll place that on there, and we'll allow that to toast, and see how it does. You got to keep an eye on it. You want it to toast, you don't want it to char too much, otherwise it's going to, like I say, become very, very bitter. So that's that. They're on there. Meantime, I'll take the rest of my dandelions, little bowl. So take my dandelion heads. Don't really want the stalk, okay. Select a few of the nicer leaves. You're looking for insects and that. I've already washed these. You don't want to eat a slug, I promise you. They are the most foul and horrible thing in the world and carry lots of very nasty diseases, lungworm and heartworm and so forth. So you definitely don't want to risk infecting yourself with that. The place where I've got these today is thanks to my neighbour Carol, lovely lady. She's allowed me to raid her wild herb patch. So again, so we'll throw some dandelion leaves in there, they're quite nice. You could put some lettuce leaves with it, it'd be quite nice. Here's a nice one for you, bramble. Okay, but you want the very, very tips where there's no spines. Okay, make sure that the spines have been removed. And on here, if you open it out, you'll see in there, if I can get it to the right angle for you, hang on, let's pull the stalks back, make life a bit easier. Peel the stalks back. You have a bramble bud, okay, from your blackberries. The leaves and the buds there are edible, but be aware of spines. There's another one there. Again, again, remember what I said yesterday about positively identifying your plants. We'll have some dead nettle. Throw some dead nettle leaves in it. Some of the flowers as well. Just break those up. Very nice. Very, very nice. Bit of tomato. Can't go wrong with a bit of tomato. Interesting about tomatoes, if you grow them yourself, try growing them on the ground. It's where they belong. They're a ground creeping vine, and if you grow them on the ground, they shade themselves. So you don't have to panic quite so much about the sun, the heat, and where they shade the ground, they keep the moisture in the soil, which is a bit of an added bonus. Dead nettle again. So let's take some dead nettle stalk. Do excuse my chopping technique. Jason's going to go ballistic. He will scream and shout at me. And just to give it a little bit of zing, let's have a little bit of onion in that. Just give it a little bit of bite. And again, if I had the wild garlic here, I would go to the wild garlic instead. Use that. As you can tell, I'm not a chef. But I do know what I like. Put that on there. Anything else in there? No. The box of loveliness. Yeah. There we go. Got some more bramble tips. Lovely. Now, you got your bramble tips, but also, if you're careful and you nip them right at the base, the young bramble leaves as well, while they're soft. But again, make sure that you've not got any of the spines with them, otherwise you're going to have a bit of a problem when you come to eat it. And it's not particularly chefy, I know, but it's a simple salad for you. Okay, now you can bulk that out with lettuce, bits of carrot, whatever you've got. Use these, your wild greens, as a supplement to help bulk up your salad. Give me dandelion a shake. Okay, so that's the salad. Quite simple. Right? We all like a bit of salad with our steak or whatever, and you can produce that pretty much anywhere you are. So let's come on to the one that scares everybody. Good old nettles. Okay, so we're going to make a nettle tea to go with our salad. Right, simple. I'll take my nettles, I'll place them down there. Have a look. I've got mostly nettle tips. There's one or two that are a bit woody, but we will take those out. So, okay, my nettle tips, and as you see, it's just the top inch or two with the hairs on. Okay, they're not going to become or be too much of a problem. Okay, simple as that. And if you're making a nettle tea, ideally, I mean, you can use the larger leaves, it's not a problem. Make sure there's no insects on them. The last thing you want is a caterpillar or something like that. And be brave. You'll be surprised. Oh, there you go, got myself there on the tip of my finger. But you'll be surprised how easy it is to deal with nettles, and actually how fast you will build up a resistance to the stings. Any kid that grew up in a rural area ran into a stinging nettle patch at some time. It's a horrible experience, they remember it, and it puts them off them for life. However, if you expose yourself to things, it builds up a bit of resistance. The other good thing is when you get stung by a stinging nettle leaf, it releases serotonin, it releases histamine into your body, all of which in the right doses are quite beneficial. Okay, so next thing I do, I've got a dead nettle there, so let's have a dead nettle in there as well with the stalk. Now if you want to zing this up a little bit, which is what I'm going to do, I'll come back to you in a minute and show you a trick. A good time of year in my garden, so what I've got, It's only just starting to come through, so I nipped out a couple of heads of mint. So there's a little bit of mint to go into my tea, and again you can just make a mint tea if you want, and a little bit of lemon balm. Okay, so again, throw those in there. Oh, you're not necessarily going to find those in the wild. You can in some places, but you're not necessarily going to find them in the wild. Now, so I have all those in there. There's two ways of doing this. Add the water, add this to heat, and then boil it from there, or do it this way, which is boil some water, add the water to the nettles and the mint, and then let it steep, which is the method we're going to use. So get old happy kettle going, and we'll get that brew on. So open up the stove, see how we're doing. Oh, we're doing lovely, quite happy with that. I'll place that on there. In fact, I'll do it the other way up. That on there. Let's have a little bit more water in that. Stick the kettle on. We'll stick that on to boil. Put a little bit more wood on the fire. Now we'll let that get going. And we'll bring the water to a boil, finish toasting our dandelion. So as you can see, the kettle's now at a boil, everything's simmering along quite nicely, and we will now make our nettle tea. And it's as simple as pour your boiling water over the nettles, and allow to sit. Okay, you want to ideally sit that for 5 to 10 minutes until it's at a temperature where you can drink it. Okay, makes it quite pleasant, makes it quite nice tea. Meantime, I shall come back to the stove, and what we'll do, we'll hook that off, put that down there out the way, put the lid on that, put these back to do, we'll fire a bit of a rake. Easy as that. Easy peasy, 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 lemon squeezy. So whilst we're waiting for that to steep, I should come back to our dandelion. And that is dried out quite nicely. So what we'll do with that, it's toasted slightly, but it's not blackened in any way. It's got a nice brown. So put that into a mess tin or to a cup. Now, this is the secret. Add your water to make your brew and return it to the heat. Okay, and let it boil, and let that boil for a good 5-10 minutes, and that extracts all the flavour and all the taste out of the dandelion root to make your Ersatz coffee. Nettle leaves a bit of a stir. There's a bit of a tip for you. When you stir it, have a look, make sure nothing's doing in the backstroke on top of your tea. Shouldn't be, because you've already checked it. And we'll come back to you in another 5-10 minutes once that's ready. Alright, so there we go, guys. I've done my salad, and because I'm a bit of a tart that way, I do like a little bit of honey mustard dressing. You could use olive oil, lemon juice, salt, pepper, herbs, whatever you've got. It's a salad, so you dress it and treat it how you want. It's quite simple, you know. You could also, I could have made croutons using some stale bread on that fire, cut them into little cubes, dropped them in, right, rubbed them with a little bit of garlic, fried off a little bit of bacon, chopped that fine, chuck that in, makes a meal all in one. So again, you can use these salad ingredients to bulk out your dish. If you haven't got a lot in the way of supplies or rations, if you're cooking rabbit, chuck some of this in with it, alongside it, it bulks out. It also gives you lots of vitamins, greens, nutrition, minerals that you need, okay? And again, these are all from the garden. So let's get the fork, just take a good spoonful, or good forkful of everything, and whack it in the old chop slide. I'll be honest with you, no different to any salad you're going to pick up in the supermarket, with the exception that it was free. Okay, grew in my garden. I know exactly what's in it. I know exactly what it's been treated with, or what's happened to it, and it is delicious. Give it a go yourselves, you'll be surprised. And now, just move that to one side. The next thing I'm going to do is go have a look at our nettle tea. Okay, so I've got a cup there. Nettle tea's been boiling or warming away gently. Here's a bit of a tip for you. Bandana, not one you've blown your nose in. Take your bandana, stick your bandana in the cup, or there. Tip your nettles in. Return your nettles to there. Okay. I'm just going to get Jace to help me out there, tilting me camera so that you can get a view of the nettle tea. It's a nice green colour. And cheers, guys. Oh, it's a bit warm. Yeah, very refreshing. Very refreshing. Again, so it's nettle. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you name it, it's got all the vitamins, calcium. It's got the metals that you require. Iron, potassium, magnesium, chromium. They're all in it. It's full of antioxidants. Again, as I said before, it's anti-inflammatory. Okay, it's analgesic. It is a mild diuretic. So again, if you're suffering with a bit of water retention, you know, it makes a nice refreshing drink. Or if you find that you're having just or you're using this and you're using a lot of energy, what you might find you want to do is just up your water intake a little bit. So I'm going to put that to one side, and of course my stewed nettles. So there's my salad. I'll just move my salad to one side. My stewed nettles, right, use it as a spinach replacement. Okay, so you can make a nettle quiche, or nettle ricotta cheese quiche. You can just use it as a green on its own, like a boiled cabbage. Okay, simple as. Right, it's cooked. You've already made a drink out of it. You might as well eat it. Simple as. And it ain't too bad. And to prove my point, I'm going to ask my mate Jace the chef. Now he has, honestly, he has never tried cooked nettles before. He's never tried nettle tea. And he's used some of these ingredients, but he's going to come over, he's going to give it a go. I'm going to jump out of the way.
No, just move your log up.
That's right. You jump in there, mate. You jump in there, give it a go. See what you think. Give me an honest one, Jace. If you think it's disgusting, tell my viewers it's disgusting. They're going to go and try this.
Right, so we'll try the nettle tea first.
Yeah.
Never tried it before. That tastes quite nice. It tastes quite refreshing. I'll be happy to put that in make a litre of it up, cool it down, put it in a bottle, so if I'm walking anywhere and drinking that cold. But you put a bit of mint in there as well, haven't you?
Yeah, just put a mint leaf in there.
Oh, that's really good. No, that's very refreshing actually.
You got the salad there and the cooked nettle leaves. Looks horrible, doesn't it?
No, this is the first time I've eaten this sort of thing. I've had wildflowers before because we do use them in catering, but the leaves and everything. Yeah. What's got a little tartness there? Something's got a little tartness. Yeah. Is that the dandelion leaves?
That'd be the dandelion leaf. It's got a little bit of bitterness to it.
Yeah, not a lot.
But you could take that out using other ingredients.
Or the dressing.
Yeah, or the dressing, yeah.
Spinach. Again, as you say, it just tastes like cooked spinach.
Yeah.
No, overall, yeah, I'd be quite happy to eat and drink both of those.
Come on, as a chefy dude, what would you have with it?
With what? The salad?
Yeah.
What, dressing wise?
Yeah.
No, I think what you put in there is about right.
Yeah.
You could put a little vinaigrette in there, red wine vinaigrette would be quite nice. Yeah, a few onions in there. There's chopped few in there, shallots in there. Yeah, a bit of garlic. If we had some ransom, I reckon that would go nice in there.
Yeah, will go nice.
Yeah, but no, really good. I'd be quite happy to eat that.
Yeah. And you're a chef. My advice to people: you're not going to live purely on that, but use that as a side dish to bulk out what you've got.
Yes, exactly. Or as Mitch has told me when we've been out and about before, you're walking along and he'll pick a handful of something and start munching away on it. I'm like, well, what's that then? You could eat this on the go quite happily. You could pick up dandelion leaves. You could pick up bits and pieces and eat.
And just keep yourself ticking over.
Maybe not so much the stinging nettle, but it might get a bit of a shock though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've already talked to people and said, have a look at the stinging nettle eating championships. That's just crazy.
No, I think that'd be a bit too much for me.
Well, thank you very much for that, Jace. I'm going to get you to jump that way.
I'm taking this with me.
You're taking the tea with you. Right, that's a nettle tea. So Jace has got a bit of a taste for that, and he's a van lifer, so it's another thing to add to his repertoire. As he does his travels around the UK, and he goes all over the UK, it gives him something else to try. What I'm going to do, Jace, I'm going to transfer your nettle tea to one of the tin mugs. Yeah. I'm going to swirl that out because I want people to see the colour of this coffee. And hence I've used a white enamel mug. So again, what you want to do, take your mug, bandana, tall par excellence, that's going to act as your filter, drop it into your mug. And, handle's a bit warm on that. As we can see there, that's now browned off nicely, and that's taken a good 15-20 minutes. And the longer that you allow that to just simmer gently, the stronger it will become in flavour. So again, we'll use our bandana to take the bits out. And as I said before, I was only going to make a small cup, purely and simply because I didn't want to waste something that I've got as a natural resource. I don't see the point if I'm just showing you guys. Now, you could add honey to this, you could add sugar to it if you like sweetening agents. I've never put milk in it, I don't know how it would react. But yeah, quite often what I'll do is just a little drop of honey just to sweeten it up. A little bit of sugar will sweeten it up. You can put other flavourings in it. I've got a certain friend of mine that will actually break off a cube of chocolate, dark chocolate. He'll drop that into it and just let it melt into it. Makes sort of like a mocha type drink. He quite enjoys that. So again, I'm going to take a sip myself. That's bloody hot. It's coffee, it's not overly, well, it's got a little bitter hint to it, but it's not overly bitter. There's no caffeine in it. I'm going to swap with Jace, because he's a chef and he knows what he's talking about. He can probably describe it better.
Hey, back again.
Back again.
Back again. Nice. Again,
He
first.
has been known to spit when I've given him stuff before now. So try one of these. Oh, what's that? Look.
Again, first. Yeah, I mean, you can quite easily pass that as coffee. Very nice. I drink black coffee anyway, so I won't put any sweetener in it or milk in it. But that is, again, when you're out in the wilderness, you've got nothing else, then yeah, I'd be quite happy to sit down and drink a cup of this.
And again, you're not going to get your caffeine here.
No, I can't taste any caffeine, but it's
protein,
so you're getting a
blood
warm
proteins.
drink, or you could cool it down and have a cold drink, and you're also getting minerals and vitamins inside yourself as well.
Yeah, well, it's got some other bonuses. So, Dandelion, they did research on it, and they found that it's an anti-cholesterol. So it'll help remove cholesterol from the body. It reduces blood pressure.
Let's swap back around, Mitch, so you can tell your viewers what it can do, its benefits.
Hey, we haven't got a lot of space here, hence the swapping around, and I'm sure you guys will understand and stick with it. Again, so Dandelion, do your research, you'll be quite amazed. It's good at reducing cholesterol. It's very good for the kidneys, helps the kidneys clean themselves out. It's also good for the gallbladder. Other bonuses with it is it helps reduce blood pressure. Okay, so again, it was an ancient medicine used by our ancestors for years and years and years, and again, diuretic, whichever. The main diuretic component is actually in the stalk, and it's the sap. It's the white sap you see in the stalk. Right? It's extremely bitter. I don't use the stalks myself simply for that reason. But again, you guys asked for it the other day. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully you've had a chance to learn something, to see something. Hopefully you found it interesting. This is Nick. This has been Hampshire Outdoors Survival. This has been a bit of wild food preparation. Now, this will probably be my second video this week, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get out and do a main video, so it'll be these two, and I do really apologise for that, okay? That's just the way the week's gone. Guys, this is Mick, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Love those you do, forgive those you don't, and as always, peace and light be upon you all. Look forward to speaking to you on Sunday night. Join us on the live stream, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival at 1900 hours. This is Mickey, out.